Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. We're here with the week one recap. We still have Monday Night Football actually going on as we speak, but we're taking this time to look back at the games. It was a great week one. Gave that nod to the NFL matchmakers, did their thing, had some interesting games, and I know somebody's happy. But show them your shirt, yo.
Hey, Victory Monday. So shout out to those that celebrated.
All right, yeah, not me. We'll get to that though.
I got something for that. Huh?
Yeah, I got something for that. But yeah, so we'll start with Thursday Night Football, Chiefs, Ravens. Any real takeaways from this?
I mean, two of the better teams in the NFL going against each other, going toe to toe. Kind of what we predicted. We thought it was going to be a tough game. I know a lot of people thought that the Ravens would probably be equipped to pull this one out. Lamar did everything in his power to pull it out for his squad. I just think this is what happens. This is what's going to happen when you play in the AFC Conference Championship. This is what's going to happen when you play Week 1. These teams, especially the Chiefs, they do things to the Ravens. They make the Ravens do things that they usually don't do. They put them in positions that they're usually not in. And, a lot of crazy stuff happens in those type of games. How many games can you remember seeing Justin Tucker even miss any kind of field goal? Any field goal.
So it's funny. There's a stat on Justin Tucker. On his last 8 50-yard attempts, he's like 1
He hasn't
for
been
8.
well.
Yeah, so it might be the fall off for him, which is interesting for a kicker. We know Adam Vinatieri, Hall of Fame kicker. He was kicking for I don't know how long, but
hey man,
yeah,
when the yips come, dog.
Huh?
I said when the yips come.
You think it's the yips and not just? I mean, damn it, Justin Tucker 34, man. Justin Tucker 34.
Nah, I think his leg is still his leg. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's. I mean, maybe that could be true, but we would actually have to have somebody on here that plays soccer, or you know what I mean. That's that knows about kicking
that boy,
a ball.
That boy Ronaldo and Messi and Ronaldinho, all them niggas still kicking.
That's what I mean. So it's I don't think it's his leg. I think it could be in his head, or maybe it was cold and windy.
So last year he was 1 for 4 on 50 to 59 yarders, 0 for 1 on 60 plus, and then he missed one yesterday. So I feel like right now, Thursday, yeah. I feel like right now we have to anoint probably y'all kicker. I really wanted y'all to go. I wanted y'all to go for that 71-yarder because why not?
No, bro, because we're not about to kick his hamstring out week 1. We're not kicking his hamstring out week 1.
But y'all were going to do it. But if they didn't time out, y'all were going to do it though.
You realize that 71-yard kick was for pure entertainment for everybody that was a non-Cowboy fan. Y'all all, I had somebody right next to me.
And Jerry Jones.
No, that was for y'all. Everyone was like, wait, he's not going to kick it? He's not going to kick it from 71? I'm like, bro, no. What if he kicks his leg out? What if he has it? I'm like, no, we're good. We're good. It's okay.
Hey, we'll get to bro. I cannot wait to get to that game. But Ravens Chiefs. Man, before the game, what's his name? Lamar Jackson said, man, I'm not even trying to. I think they have to calm down. Like you said, bro, it's like the Bills effect. The Chiefs, they just live rent free in these guys' heads, and they kind of start overthinking it. Look, just because in the playoffs you didn't run at all doesn't mean you just run all day. Mix it up on these boys. The fact that
I don't think that running was the problem. I mean, Derrick Henry only had 10 carries. Lamar ran, but that was Lamar deciding to be high school football Lamar. I'm going to do this.
That's my
I'm
point.
I'm going to win the game. That's Lamar, bro. That is Lamar. That is the Lamar Jackson. That's all you can. If you wanted something, if you wanted a different football player, you got to pick a different quarterback because that's what you sign him up to do, man. I need you to pull it out.
That's what he didn't do it when it just felt desperate to me. It felt super desperate, and it's like that's not the Lamar I want to see, because the Lamar I know, he's not the most elite passer in the world, but he can still sling the rock. I don't want him running.
Well, if no one's open, if nobody's open, you can't get the ball. They had Mark Andrews bracketed. You got Mark Andrews bracketed. I mean, like, he can only give all he can do is just give the ball to Flowers behind the backfield. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were on their ass when it came to the run game. Like, Lamar, that's what you're gonna get from Lamar. The way Lamar, the mindset he played that game with the hey, I'm going to get a first down no matter what, 122 yards off of like 19 carries or whatever it is. Come on, man. Listen, they lost the game by 7, so we're not going to go hard on them. And
yeah. I mean, it's week 1. It's Chiefs Ravens toss-up game. They lost. It reminded me of the Kevin Durant.
They lost it by a shoe size.
Yeah, the Kevin Durant Nets on the line. Hey, I'm not going to say no. I'm a size 13, size 14 in Yeezy slides. So
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. If they were my size, they probably tied the game up.
I like what Pat Mahomes said. He said to wear white cleats. But man, I want to see that. I want to see that game again, man. It's always going to be a good game, man. And it's John Harbaugh versus Andy Reid, Lamar versus Pat Mahomes. There's not much to take away from it. Just enjoy the game. That's the way I feel about it. Just enjoy the game.
And it might have been a little sloppy at the beginning. It might have looked a little sloppy, but at the end of the day, it's not sloppy because these teams are sloppy. This is just what happens when two of the better teams in the NFL are playing each other, and we give them shit when they give us shit. So we gotta give them, the respect for giving us a good game to start the season off. Like, they gave us two of the best teams in the NFL, mano a mano, day one.
Speaking of first games, let's segue into the Eagles-Packers that next night in Brazil. With that game, that was a good game to show the crowd. Usually they send these teams to like London or whatever, and it's like, yeah, y'all got the Panthers
and
versus the Jags. Y'all got, you know what I mean? They're sending us and the Panthers to Germany.
Right.
So yeah. that should be interesting. Brian Burns' revenge game. But this was a good game, man. Saquon did his thing. I always thought he was going to do his thing as a Giants fan. I'm upset about how things went down, but I know behind that O-line, he's going to cook. DeAndre Swift had 1,000 yards behind this O-line last year. Yes, they're missing Jason Kelce, but they got some more guys there. Praying for Jordan Love's speedy recovery. I see that they didn't put him on IR, so seems week to week. But what did you think about this game?
I mean, I think it was just one of those games where, Eagles, they pulled it out. They were playing against average defense. I believe that they have a above average offense, and Kellen Moore he called a good game, and honestly, I'm not surprised. I think that Saquon that addition of Saquon, especially if he can stay healthy for 17 games, we're talking Christian McCaffrey. But is he staying healthy for 17 games? That's what will be what we need to wait and see. And also, is Kellen Moore going to be consistent with the motion that they had, the motion on offense, getting the running back involved outside of just running them straight through the A gap? But he had a will pass off of a nice route that AJ Brown was the decoy. He ran a post into the middle that took the safety, and then you got Saquon running out the backfield, side corner pylon, touchdown. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful play call. We got to call a spade a spade. So, if they are able to incorporate that into their offense and they're not scared to run those type of plays when they're playing, the upper echelon at the NFL, yeah, this is going to be a scary team to deal with. And even not to take too much away from the Packers, they had a few things not necessarily go their way. Quarterback looked a little bit rusty. Looked like there were some wide receivers that were a little rusty, but at the end of the day, they played them tough and they were in control for the majority of the game. It just came to a few bad decisions by Jordan Love. At at the beginning of that fourth quarter. That interception, I want to say, was on like the 36-yard line, which was the go-ahead touchdown. And then, when they got the ball back, they just weren't able to really make nothing happen. But yeah, for the most part, this was a good game, and this is how it was going to go. And the Eagles were able to pull it out. Jalen Hurts, I don't know. People are going to have some opinions on Jalen Hurts. It's going to take a little bit, but he pulled it out for his team, and shout out to the Eagles for that. But he did have some issues. If we want to talk quarterback play, he has some issues.
Well, yeah, with that, let's see who they got week 2. They got the Falcons coming off a loss, 2 birds, dirty birds versus the birds, whatever. So we'll see what happens with that, see if they could keep it up. But, this to me was another playoff preview. Yeah, and it's another game I'd love to see again. So
yeah, two of the better teams in the NFL. Like what I got out of that game is like, oh, both of these teams are going to be really good.
And I'm so star players for any league, whether it's basketball, baseball, even though I don't watch it, but I hate when stars, important impact players, any player really, but especially like a quarterback, an elite edge rusher, an elite receiver. So hopefully Malik Willis could fill in those shoes. He couldn't get that last playoff. Dudes, I'm not going to go in on him, but whatever.
I mean, he has a guy that feels like he can coach intangibles, and Matt LaFleur as his head coach now, and I'm sure that's a solid quarterback room. I'm sure Jordan Love isn't that bad of a mentor, So I think that when push comes to shove, Malik Willis might not be a great product, but it's a strong possibility that it might be a better product than what we saw from him over the past 2 years in Tennessee.
And I think the only reason why there's such a microscope on him is because how weak that quarterback class was. We had Kenny Pickett going in the first, Malik Willis didn't go into the third, and there was only one quarterback that went in the first, and that was in the middle of the first to the Steelers, and he's ironically on the Eagles now. So, hey, good game though. The Packers have the Colts next week. Wonder what that spread's going to be. We'll get to that next segment, but let's get to this week's games. Yesterday's games, Sunday's games. We'll start off with Steelers Falcons. Man, TJ Watt feels like he has Myles Garrett's Defensive Player of the Year on the wall, and he's not playing games, man. And honestly, the Steelers are scary if one of these quarterbacks, whether it's Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, could really do something. Because the thing with Kenny Pickett was the guy, if you look at how many touchdowns he throws, dude doesn't throw touchdowns, bro. If they have somebody competent, like the Steelers are classic old school defense, running the football. That's why Mike Tomlin doesn't have a losing season. Now, if you give him somebody that's not a wash Big Ben or Mitch Trubisky or Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett, just a bump or two above that, scary team, especially with what the Bengals just did with their cupcake matchup this week.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I went back and I watched that game, and I watched it with a grin on my face because, like, I said that this was going to be a Mike Tomlin ass game. This was going to be such a Mike Tomlin game.
You did call it.
But I wanted to see why, and I was definitely watching the Falcons, and I was watching Kirk Cousins and the way that he was maneuvering in the pocket and all that, and he's definitely a statue. I understand why they're rolling with him right now, but with the Steelers, as wild as it sounds, Justin Fields is the quarterback of that football team. Justin Fields is the starting quarterback of that football team. I don't know what they're going to do, but when you go, if I told you that Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator, and I told you that this is a Mike Tomlin team, and all these things about it,
it's perfect.
Perfect. It's the perfect because they're not going to ask him to make 45 throws, but he's capable enough to make almost whatever throw to the outside you need. I mean, he had one throw. It was 101 AJ Terrell, which is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, against George Pickens. and he throws it perfectly on a 1-and-1 go route where only George Pickens can catch the ball, and George Pickens is good enough to come down with it. And it's like they're not going to ask him to do that down after down. They're not asking him to do that every single drive. They're not asking him to do that, you know what I mean, throughout the game. But the fact that he could do that between 3 to 5 times a game, everything else is chaos, yes. And we're not judging him outside of the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL. We're only judging him off of the quarterback room that he's in today. And that quarterback room that he's in today is Russ Wilson, him, and I don't know, Zach Randolph. And it's like Justin Fields, with how the way that the Pittsburgh Steelers are blue collar, how they play football, who they are as a personality, he is the quarterback for them. I mean, he understands and he's willing to do everything they need to do to win. Only 150 yards, that's not going to kill Justin Fields. Oh, design runs for Justin Fields, not going to kill him. Passing it off to Najee Harris and letting him take care of the blunt of the work and letting the kickers kick 50-yard field goals, that's not going to kill Justin Fields. This team, Arthur Smith, Mike Tomlin, nobody's mad about this game. This was a beautiful game to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't get it twisted. But to everybody else, it might have been ugly. But to them, this is how they play football. And they'll win. They'll be a playoff team. And I'll go as far as to say this. If the Jets had to play Pittsburgh in New York or in MetLife, I would be betting on Pittsburgh to win that game in the playoffs. I like the way that this team is built. That's what I say. As ugly as the season's going to be.
Why the Jets, though? Why the Jets?
Because I can see them being like the 2 seed. I can see them finagling their way into.
You believe in the Jets? I can't wait.
No, I don't. I don't.
You believe in them in the playoffs and the
AFC? Yeah. I believe in them to make the playoffs. Yeah, for sure. Sure. But no, I don't. They're just a rough team. They're just a blue collar, rough, tough team. They don't want to make nothing sexy. They don't want to make nothing look sexy. They don't care.
Except contested George Pickens just grabbing that joint out the air. And then besides Justin Fields being able to pass those deep balls, Justin Fields at any time could go crazy on like a 60-yard run whenever. That's something Russell Wilson can't do. That was never really his game. His game was being an improviser, being elusive, not getting caught, and then getting it out there. But in terms of straight just forward running speed, I mean, I think it's perfect. I think Russell Wilson, being hurt week 1, that's why he was in them pads, because he was like, yo, don't forget about me. I'm supposed to be here. You saw him on the sideline with the pads on?
I mean, and I hate to say it. It's
I'd love to say, how I feel about it.
But he looks good. I mean, he looks good in that mentor role. And it's not like this is you know what I'm saying? I knew it was going to happen. But if he looks good in that mentor role, he looks good as like, hey, whenever you guys need me, I can come in. But you gotta let Justin Fields take care of this. And these guys came in at the same time. So you're not about to sit here and tell me that there's somebody on that team that's so gun hole riding for
Brees Hall just scored a touchdown. Yeah, I needed that for my parlay. All right, let's move on to what is it? Jags. All right, back to it. Jags Dolphins. This is a pick I got right in terms of the spread. Trevor Lawrence, Tua. How do you feel about this game? Dolphins edge it by 3.
I mean, it's definitely an unfortunate one for the Jags. Honestly, Jaguars, they had control of the game the entire game for the most part. Tank Bisbee, he was running well. Trevor Lawrence was looking good in the first half, and it just got away from him. They had one play that was a potential. I mean, well, not potential, it was, but it was the momentum swing where Travis Etienne was going in for a second touchdown, and he fumbles it out the backfield. The Dolphins recover it, and the rest is history. At that time, I want to say it was 7-17 at that time when he was getting ready to walk into the end zone. They knock the ball out. They don't recover it. And, it goes from being 24-7 to 14-17 really fast. Like this is the NFL, and it's just it again. I don't want to go too hard on anybody, regardless of the team, just because it is the first week of the season and this is everybody's preseason. But that was a rough out for the Jaguars, especially because there was a game that they actually had in the bag. They had that game.
Yeah, I mean they're controlling the game well. I think what it comes down to is, they were just passing the ball better. Shout out to Brian Thomas getting his first touchdown
Against Jalen Ramsey. Against Jalen Ramsey. So if you can do it against that guy, you can do it against anybody. You know what I mean? Those are the rules. Those are the rules. Or at least those are the rules I would live by.
we don't make the rules, but it came down to third down. Jags 20% third down efficiency, Dolphins 50%, things like that. It's the small things when the teams are, I think they're in the same tier, they're on the same level. Toss up game, but another good week one matchup. If you're a Jags fan, nothing to be down about. You like the weapons you have. You like
that division's gonna be so close, though, bro.
That's how I want it.
Right, but it's like that one. This is going. I know it's week one, but I think this is going to end up haunting them because it's like, we're going to need that game. They're going to need that game at the end of the year, and it's not even the fact that they're not going to be able to get more games or get games back or whatever. But it's like, we had this one. It was against a division opponent, and we had it. We had it.
They're not in the same division.
Well, no, but I'm saying they're in the AFC.
Oh, you mean like Oh yeah, like a week 18.
So we're trying to get a wild card bid or something like that. It might come down to that game and a half, and it's like, damn, we wouldn't be in this position if we would have just closed this one out week one. That's what I'm more so trying to say.
Nah, I definitely get that. Shout out to Tyreek. Shout out. It was a good game. I'm looking forward to see both of them play. Well, both teams play next week. Let's move on to Vikings Giants.
I'll let you go ahead and take it from here.
Where do I fucking start? Listen, Brian Flores, defensive mastermind. The Vikings defensive players are real confident before this game. One of my main takeaways, look, the Giants play Washington next week. Washington just took an L. Let's see how you do against that defense. Maybe Brian Flores just wreaks havoc on every quarterback.
Well, next week is Dan Quinn. So if you for whatever it's worth, next week is Dan Quinn.
I think Brian Flores is a better defensive mind personally, but
it don't hurt me.
But one of Daniel Jones' picks was so egregious. And it was like that's it. I've defended him enough. I've gave him criticism enough. The play calling didn't really like it, even though Dayball's calling the plays, and that's what as a Giants fan we wanted. But it's like throw the ball down the field. In the preseason, they kind of let Danny, hey, feel free to make mistakes. I'm tired of the conservative play. The only bright spot with the Giants, I've said it on social media. It's not, you tuning into the Giants game? You mean the Neighbors game? Yeah, I'm about to go watch the Neighbors game. Shout out to Malik Neighbors, leading rookies in receiving yards after week one. But besides that, the Vikings played a very great, dominant, efficient game. Shout out to Sam Darnold. This might be
Jay Jettis.
Yeah, Jay Jettis. This is going to be his bid to future NFL teams. Like, hey, I still got it. Give me a chance. Let's see how far he could take it. But yeah, everything everyone was saying about the Giants, they definitely look like a bottom three team last night or yesterday afternoon. And Tibbs, one QB pressure, no tackles, no tackle for loss.
I was going to say, I saw them, bro. I watched the game, and I was like, look, I'll let you go. But I saw Tibbs playing patty cake, real patty cake with it. I mean, I don't know.
He was talking. He was popping this. I want to beat Michael Strahan or whoever's record. It's frustrating. You got booed out. It's a 100-game celebration, new logo on the field, new uniforms
were
to
horrendous. By the way, those uniforms were horrendous.
I like the helmet and it's the pants, bro. It's the gold pants, and they played how the uniforms looked. Let's just put it like that. They played like the uniforms looked, and it's frustrating. But I'm quarterback scouting every Saturday, and I'll be looking at whoever the top quarterbacks. Those are the college football games I'm tuning into. 100%.
So if y'all have any suggestions for them, please feel free to send those into
please tell me who to look at, because I'm a quarterback scout by January. I'm gonna have my opinion I'm gonna have my quarterback rankings. I'm done with this, man. This is year 6. Listen. Unless you have anything else to say, bro, I don't. I could go. There's a list of just overall issues that this team, from the coaching, from the defense, to the play calling, to the quarterback play, to the quarterback decision making. And it was a masterclass from the Vikings. Shout out to Kevin O'Connell. Shout out to Brian Flores.
Good coaches. That's a good staff over there. We have to respect staff sometime. And they have a solid. They lost their quarterback, but they do still have, they still have the heart and soul of their team, who is Justin Jefferson, and I think that's awesome. I really obviously I love CeeDee Lamb. I have so much respect for CeeDee Lamb, but I got respect for Justin Jefferson too. He just keeps it afloat, man. He's like, look, bro, as long as the quarterback has a right arm and can aim a little bit, I got the rest of this. And he showed it again yesterday, and I think that's impressive from a wide receiver standpoint, to be able to do something like that, to do what he does with backups. I think he's impressive. Speaking of franchise quarterbacks, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Chicago Bears. You want to go ahead and run this one?
The Bears. I think Caleb Williams. The good thing for Bears fans, for one, y'all edged out this game. It didn't look like that all game. And number 2, Caleb Williams did some things that worked in college that has shown, hey, bro, that's not going to work here. This dancing around, I know you know which play I'm talking about, where he tried some of that college magic. It's not going to work. The reason why college football 25, everybody's coming out, well, this game is pretty accurate now. Yeah, the defense is terrible in college. But when you get to the NFL, that stuff isn't going to work. And I feel like there's going to be growing pains. But the highlight of that is that's as bad as he's going to look. And I'm not even saying he played bad, but like it's welcome to the league moment. Hey, that shit's not working over here.
Yeah, man. Even I had to start him in one of my fantasy leagues, in my big money fantasy league. And how
much did he get you?
He got me like 7 points. He had 93 yards, but it was like at the end of the day, it was like I had to know that was a possibility. And again, it does it. I also not predicted, but I also assumed he'd have a tough day, because the Tennessee Titans, while they aren't like a renowned defense, they do have guys, and they did pay money for some solid top guys in the NFL. So, they're reading the clippings all summer, how much we love Chicago, how much we love this offense, and we love Caleb Williams, franchise quarterback, about to save the day. Okay, now we get to be on the field with them, and we get to dictate some stuff. And the defense for the Titans, they played well, they did their thing, and Caleb Williams missed some throws. I hate to, as a quote unquote old head myself, about to be 32. I hate to say that, Keenan Allen being 238 pounds, sometimes he did look like a tight end. It looked like I was watching a tight end, and I was like, oh, okay. And he missed them. Caleb Williams missed Keenan Allen a few times, but Keenan Allen, he does look heavy out there on the field. He does look like he's 218 pounds. Not saying he still is, but that was the rumor back in the summer. And, the way that he's moving out there is just not as shifty. He's never been a speed guy, but he's been elusive. He's been shifty. He cuts on dime. He gets in and out of routes.
That's his thing.
And
That's his thing.
And it was like every time he did it, there was someone there. And I get it. He's playing against Ladarius Sneed and Cheeto Bear-Wouzier and some tight coverage corners, but you beat these guys more times than you don't for the majority of your career. You have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're gonna let this one slide. Trust and believe I'm watching them closely. I got a lot invested into Caleb Williams for my personal reasons. He is the quarterback of my fantasy team, so I do know what's going on over there. However, I am impressed with the defense, and I got to give credit to the defense for pulling out that win. And, I think for the Bears, they are known to have an elite a back four with their DBs and their cornerbacks. But, to generate pass rush, to be able to get some pick sixes, pressure on Will Levis to make him start spazzing for whatever reason. I think that this team could be solid. If Caleb gets in that mode of like, hey, I'm going to trust my defense because I actually have one now, and I don't got to win every play with my arm, because I think that's part of what happened with the play that you're talking about. If he can get out of that, I got to score 50 points for my team to win mentality, and he just sit back, relax, and take what the defense gives him, I think we got a good year on our hands. I think we got a good year for the Bears.
And speaking of defense on the Bears, obviously Titans played they lost. But TJ Edwards, 10 total tackles all over the field. He did his thing. Like, Matt Eberflus, that's his thing.
That's what he does. He's a linebackers. He was a linebackers coach. He was originally a linebackers coach.
So I expect good things from this defense. It's going to be interesting division for both those divisions, and another close one. That's what the NFL likes. One possession games, down to the wire. They want the witching hours popping as possible every time. All right. Let's move to the Panthers Saints. And this was one of my picks, but this was, it's like love lock. This was my so this was my, my third favorite pick, and Panthers are officially on my no bet list because they have too many problems. It's not all Bryce Young. Receivers weren't getting separation, but it's really a testament to the Saints. And that deep ball to Rashid Shaheed while he was getting pressured, got hands in his face. Hey, if we could get those Saints again next week, and they're against who they got week 2.
I'm actually going to that game. My pops.
You're going to that game?
Yeah, we're actually going to be there for that one. Yeah.
Okay. That should be pretty interesting.
Sure.
Yeah. So I know the Chris Olave owners aren't happy with that game, but that's the type of that's when you look at your matchups. That's why Chris Olave wasn't a must start. You look at the matchups, you're up a lot, you're running the ball. So that was the game script, really. Taysom Hill got heavily involved. But yeah, like any hope for the Panthers? Like if you were the Panthers GM,
fixing the Panthers, Tom. I need to call my boy.
Well, what's your focus? Like, what are you doing? What's your priority?
If today I gotta fix the Panthers, I'm making sure that I got the best talent evaluators and I got the best offensive line coach money can buy. I want the best talent evaluators I need the best offensive linemen that we can find in the draft. We not missing. We cannot miss. I need you to hit, and I need the best offensive line coach that I can find to coach up these offensive linemen. From there, I'm going to hope that Bryce Young can feel protected and have the confidence to make the throws he needs. From there, I'm going to hope that we got a serviceable running game. We can hit on somebody in the draft. I mean, I don't think Chuba Herbert's bad, and I don't think Jonathan Brooks for the future will be a bad player. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of covered. Yeah, and then I need a wide receiver coach that specializes in separation. I need a wide receiver. Because listen, they're the players now. All right, the cookie's already baked. The baby's already on the way. Bryce Young is already here, bro. You know what I mean? So that aspect of it, we're not getting rid of him. And we traded and we've given up resources for offensive weapons with Deontay Johnson and I want to say Xavier Leggett.
Yeah, Xavier Leggett. Yep.
Leggett, yeah. So from that aspect of it, we've already exhausted resources for offensive weapons. Now they're on the squad, and we're just working with that. We already got our quote unquote franchise quarterback, even if he might not be looking at it right now. What can we fix? Where can we fix it? Offensive line and coaching. I mean, it has to be there. And it's just crazy because, we got wide receivers that are making north of 35 mil a year. You know what I'm saying? And the Pittsburgh Steelers was like, yo, you know what we're going to do? We're going to trade Deontay Johnson. We're going to trade him and we're going to get back uh Deontay. I can't think of Deontay Jackson, a cornerback for a wide receiver because in Pittsburgh they're just so psycho. They're like, yeah, we're good. We like all the cover guys. Give us a cover. We'll give you a first rounder for a cover guy when we need a quarterback, and we'll win with that. And that player actually was productive for them last Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. He had a pick that went that he took to the other side of the field. And it's like Deontay Johnson's over here struggling getting separation, and he's struggling getting targets. And it's like wide receiver is one of the most popular, expensive positions in the NFL right now. And, they traded a solid piece for him, yet it's still not working out for them. I don't know if it's the talent on the field at this point. I just think that the infrastructure is not in place for the players that they have to be successful. I just feel like that's where we're at with the Panthers. And I'm sorry for going on a Panthers rant, but that's just really kind of how I feel if it came to fixing the Panthers.
And David Canales came from Tampa Bay. He was the OC over there with their playoff push over there with Baker. So hopefully he could fix some things up.
And he's known for fixing quarterbacks. Apparently he's the guy who fixed Geno Smith. After fixing Geno Smith, he goes and he takes Baker Mayfield to the playoffs and they win a playoff game. So
maybe we gotta get more credit to Baker, and we'll get to that game here soon. But,
right, yeah, we will. But I mean, it's just something to consider. And again, he's one coach, he's one man. He can't have his ear to what's going on in the offensive line room and have his eyes to what's going on in the wide receiver group. He has to trust his coordinators. He has to trust his coaches, and maybe it could be true they don't have the right guys in place for them to succeed right now. And I hate that it has to be on Bryce Young, but like you said earlier, hey, quarterback, they get all the glory, and you're gonna get all of this pain when it's not going right.
And it just sucks that CJ Stroud is, a dynamo, and he was drafted before him, so that's always going to be attached at the hip, and
they are too. I mean, shit.
Yeah, and Anthony Richardson. So, but let's move on to Patriots Bengals, which this one's funny because
you don't want to do Cardinals. You don't want to do Cardinals Bills.
Oh shit, yeah, Cardinals Bills. My bad. So, Cardinals Bills. 34-28, exciting game. Cardinals seemed in control of the game for a long time, but I think the big thing that everyone's wondering is what's good with Marvin Harrison, and if he was more of an impact, they might have came out with the W. My pick for that still hit. They covered that 6.5 with the hook. But what were your takeaways from this game?
Yeah, I mean he had a low target share. I think you want to say he only had like four targets, and it was a. I don't want to give the exact number on the target share. I'll have that for you by the end of the week. But again, I just think it was one of those unique situations. He is still a rookie wide receiver. He's Marvin Harrison Jr. to us as fans, but he is a football player that needs to get accustomed to route running in the NFL. He's a rookie. He's a rookie wide receiver that played the first game of his NFL life, his NFL career. So, I think that it's going to get better. I think by the end of this season, he's going to be what he think he's going to become. But we're so used to we forget that Justin Jefferson didn't even play the first game of the season. I don't even think he played in the first game of the season.
I
I
remember,
want
remember, remember the rumblings from the preseason training camp that Jamar Chase was dropping balls and
right,
blase.
yeah, and it's like we forget all of we forget how it starts. Even with Odell, I want to say he was injured. He had some injuries at the beginning of his career, but it's like by the time November comes around, this is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. Like it's going to be everything we want it to
I
be.
like we named
It's
3 LSU receivers in a row, and the one bright spot for my team, LSU neighbors. But then Brian Thomas did his thing. He got a touchdown, and
yeah, like we
he did
said,
his thing.
he got it against Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? And it's just there's nothing to panic here. If you are dealing with some distressed managers that are willing to sell Marvin Harrison, do what you do. I'm not gonna tell you not to trade for him if someone's stupid enough to do that. But if he's on your squad, we're no panic over here. We don't panic over week one. We don't mind you even losing week one because you know what that means. We get to get some early access to that waiver wire. Okay, and this is one of the best waiver wire weeks of the year. So no sweat here. It is what it is. Josh Allen, your guy, he did his thing.
Bro, why is he always my guy, bro? Just because I
Because
defend him
you
against your
because you pick
cats.
him because you'll pick him. You'll pick him. You'll pick him.
I don't have him this year.
Right,
I ain't
because
get him,
it's
man.
just too high. He was just too high. But he did
Yeah,
his job. He did what he did. And we talked about it because I told you the only reason I didn't want to run with James Cooks was because I think he'd get vultured in regards to carries inside the 20.
and
And
Josh Allen had 2 rushing touchdowns along with his 2 passing touchdowns. Efficient game, 18 for 23 for 232. Josh Allen definitely did his thing. Shout out to Keon Coleman, 4 catches, 51 yards.
Khalil too.
Khalil Shakir, 3 catches, 42 in a TD. And your boy Matt Collins even, you know, provided
He even
some
contribute.
yeah. 25 yards and a touchdown. James Cook, as we expected, leading back, and he caught 3 out the backfield. So I'm a James Cook owner. I have some shares in him. I'm fine with that performance. I'm fine with him not getting the goal line work. Eventually, he'll bust one off. No Diddy. And yeah, this was a good game. I'm high on the Cardinals this year. If they could get Marvin Harrison in the mix, which I'm confident that they will, at the end of the day, these are rookies that we're talking about. Despite his pedigree with his top 5 all-time Hall of Fame dad, he's still a rookie. And historically,
This is a man's game.
midseason,
Football is a man's
midseason,
game.
these receivers do start popping off something crazy. And I think this is a great receiving class. And I can't wait to see the rest of them flourish. But this was an exciting game to watch. Kyler Murray looks in true form, ran it for 57 yards, 162 in the touchdown. But if we could get Marvin Harrison in the mix, hey,
And I just
sky's
want
the
to say one
limit.
thing before we let the Cardinals and Bills game go. Trey McBride had 9 targets. He didn't have a good game statistically wise, but he got 9 targets in a game where Marvin Harrison I think only got like 4. And there was a few broken plays where he actually was open, but Kyler wasn't able to see him because he was getting pressured and he had to get out. Yeah, when it comes to those 2 players, you drafted him where you drafted him for a reason. Kyler Murray is a talented QB. He's been a talented QB his entire life. We're going to have fun with this Arizona Cardinals team. We just got to stay. We just got to stay patient. Just got to stay patient.
And despite their defensive losses, the defense for the Bills, even though they allowed 28 points, we had Terrell Bernard, 10 total tackles. Only one of those were assisted. And, Greg Rousseau with 3 sacks. Seems like he was a good pickup
Turn
in
it on.
that recent draft. So, Kyler Murray is kind of hard to get to. So, the Bills defense, I don't think it's going to be a major drop off. Obviously, Sean McDermott's a defensive coach, so I think the Bills are in a good spot. But they're probably hoping Trevor Lawrence pulled that off against the Dolphins. Now, both of those they're 1-0 along with the Patriots, and the Jets are playing right now. So let's see, and they're up. So all right, next Patriots Bengals. This time, actually, this one's funny because we thought in the last pod that the matchmakers wanted Joe Burrow to have a cupcake, little easy matchup. They end up losing by 6. I think it was the highest spread total of the week, upset of the week. And I've been calling this about the Bengals. I think that Super Bowl run was their peak. I'm not saying that they can't come back because they usually have a slow start, but this wasn't supposed to be a situation where you have a slow start. Now you're going to Arrowhead. They can easily start 0-2 and have the Chiefs 2-0. And this was supposed to be a game where even if you do lose to the Chiefs in week 1, at least you're 1-1. And I'm very low on the Bengals right now. I don't know what's going on. Jamar Chase played. Obviously, I don't know how to feel about this team, man. I mean,
can I ask you a few
how much
questions?
do you think?
Can I ask you a few questions?
What's up?
Remember back in the day, before we even created the pod or whatever, I used to talk to you about how much I just don't trust Zach Taylor. I remember I used to tell you I don't trust Zach Taylor. I think he just lucked into a talented ass team. I was like, I think they win in spite of Zach Taylor. It's been 4 years that they've lost the season.
You did take it back. So I did take it back. Are you back on it?
The only reason why I might be back on it, because I did take it back, but again, I took it back because it's Jamar Chase and it's T. Higgins and it's Joe Burrow and you know what I mean? I don't know though, man. I don't know. You weren't prepared to play against the Patriots that had one fastball. That one thing that they were giving to you. They were giving the ball to Ramondre.
Ramondre cooked, and I wish I stayed on the Ramondre train and scooped him. I thought it's a testament maybe to the Bengals run D. I mean, what? They gave him the rock a bunch. How many times? About 25? Yeah, 25 for 120. He's averaging almost 5 a carry, a touchdown.
I think he had a 60-yard run, though.
Yeah. What did I tell you about Antonio Gibson? You were like, hey, he could give you 10 points. Like, he got like 1.5 fantasy points. I told you. Not a factor.
Because the bell cow, the bell cow back was Ramondre, and I mean
it was still a close game throughout, all throughout, and that boy Gibson didn't catch any passes. So I'm just saying,
right? And I mean that's how it can go. But Gibson could have also been Justice Hill. You don't know until week 1 is finished. You don't know. You know what I mean? As much as he could have been what he did, he could have also been Justice Hill, and he could have got 5 receptions or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's 12 points. So
I'm ringing a panic alarm on the Bengals. There's absolutely no reason why.
I'm not ringing a panic alarm, but you got to understand that offense was a lot of turmoil. I mean, they're not the Cowboys, so they're not used to that. You got to understand the Cowboys are used to all the drama that comes with that shit. All of that drama that we had to deal with Dak Prescott, the ultimate deadline. Bro, 30 minutes before kickoff, is that when we get announcements now? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how we live our life.
That's your boy Jerry, though.
Yeah, right. But that's you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's my little shorty, okay? I know she kind of toxic, but that's my, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And it's like some people aren't built that way. Cincinnati isn't built to be toxic. They're not built like that, bro. So for them to have to deal with the T stuff, and then from them to go from dealing with T to having to deal with Jamar, who we always knew they were going to pay, because that's the reason they're not paying T.
Well, there's 2 years left on his contract, so
hey, I need my bread today, bro. I'm not playing on no $1.2 million, $1.9 million deal when all of my peers are making bread, and I used to sleep next to goddamn JJ. And I used to tell that nigga I was better back then. No, pay me my shit. My man's got paid. CD got paid. We know who we are. We know who we are for the past 5 years. And I'm the only one that's making 1.9 million. I can't even go to the club with my boys. No, pay me. Come on.
Nah. I feel that. I mean, it is. I believe the poorest owner in the league. You know, the running gag on McAfee shows the no indoor practice facility. I think they did add that, but like, I don't know. I'm pretty off the Bengals. They're going to start 0-2. I mean, if they come back and beat the Chiefs somehow, any given
0-2 ain't
Sunday,
never, ain't nobody. People can bounce back from 0-2. Listen, Joey is built
they
for this.
typically do that.
Joey's built for this. I'm just saying.
But
at
like,
what point can we get rid of Zach Taylor though? At what point is this a Zach Taylor thing and not we're dependent on all of the stars that we have?
Well, if they make the wild card and get bounced again, are they going to get rid of him then? You think? Or is it going to take not making the playoffs with a healthy Joe?
I guess that's what I'm asking. What does it take for them to look at the QB? I mean, not the QB, for them to look at the head coach. Is it the QB saying something? Is it the wideout saying something? I mean, there's going to be a scapegoat. There's going to be a scapegoat. Or we not Joey make 20, it's like 219 mil guaranteed or something crazy like that. So it's not going to be Joey. It's not going to be Jamar. He's already gone. Who's next?
And it shouldn't take a bona fide wide receiver one and a borderline. Like it shouldn't take. Oh, we didn't have Higgins. I don't give a damn. They have DeMario Douglas and Jalen Polk and Tyquan Thornton and
they have no offensive line. They had nothing. We couldn't win.
Man, that's why I'm off of them. Like I've seen enough, and I don't say that week one, but that was supposed to be your layup. This is supposed to be no more slow starts. Joe Burrow, you're a fan favorite. Come get this one. Start 1-0, and then you have the Chiefs, and then 1-0 versus 1-0, and now it's that's cooked. It was set up on a silver platter for y'all, but. Hey, shout out to Gerard Mayo, his first win as a head coach.
Might be a better coach than we thought.
And we'll see. With Jacoby Brissett, the journeyman. Like, where do you hear that with the weak O-line and crazy? If you're a Bengals fan, hey man, y'all used to it. Don't be popping that shit no more until we see something different. That's all I gotta say on that.
I mean, I like to think that the Bengals fans don't pop no shit, but if y'all are out there popping some shit,
they pop shit, man.
All right, well,
which they stole from the Saints, by the way.
All right, well then y'all need to pipe it down at least for the month of September. Okay, y'all get back at us in November.
Who are they? Head ass boy. The fuck. Right. But anyway, all right. Next on the docket, we got Texans Colts, man. I was looking like a proud father during this game. Glad to see Anthony Richardson living up to the hype, man. Not only protecting himself, but some of those deep balls, some of those passes, he's looking as advertised. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, barn burner, everything we kind of thought it was going to be. I'm pretty sure this is one of the games where we said we didn't want to touch who would be the winner, but we did believe it would probably end up going over. I think we did edge out the Texans just based off of the talent that they have on defense compared to the Colts. We got a little bit of everything that we thought we would see. CJ Stroud, he did his thing. He's a solid QB. 3rd and 11, 2 minutes to go in the game. He throws a fucking amazing pass to Nico Collins where only he can catch it. Sideline, one knee in bounds, ball game. AR, that throw to Alex Peters, 60 yards.
Alex Pearson, wasn't I singing his praises? And you were like, don't forget about Adonai Mitchell, which cool, but I was like, bro, Alex Pierce is a sleeper.
All right, but if you watch that game, Adonai Mitchell could have had 200 yards. If you watch that game,
I don't care. He had 2 yards, and Alex Pierce had 125 and a touchdown.
Right,
he could have, would have.
Oh wait, okay, all right. It's like we just said, it was week 1, but because he wanted to take a victory lap over one thing he got right, it's we coulda, woulda. All right, bro.
But saying he could have had that many yards and he has 2 yards in the catch is crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. No. Give me my flowers, bro. Then the guy I said had 125 in the TD, and you're like, well, if you look at it, Adonai Mitchell, he had 2 yards.
He hit on somebody. Congratulations. Let him take his victory lap. He hit on somebody.
I'm just saying, and they got 2 yards. That's crazy. This is crazy.
Are you gonna do it again?
Man, we'll see.
Are you gonna do it again?
It's week 1,
exactly.
like you said.
If this what you do Act like you've been there before, dog. Come on, you knew he did his thing.
I was acting like I've been there before until you said that, and I'm like, this thing had 2 yards.
All right, but anyways, like I was saying, AR throws a beautiful pass to Alex Pierce. Congratulations, Dom.
Alec.
He got it right. All
Get
right,
his
whatever.
name right. It's
but,
Alec.
But off of 1 foot fading for 60, just flicked it real crazy, and it was just like I was like, hey, I mean, if he could do that, he's doing that to Alex Pierce, which I don't think he will be once Josh Downs gets back. Like I said, I think that's going to be Adonai Mitchell's role, and I think that you know what I mean. Again, keep an eye out for him. But yeah, he has beautiful throws like that, but then outside of those 2 throws, he had an inaccurate day. He only threw for 79 yards outside of those 2 throws, but he gets you there in fantasy because he can rush. He's a complete unit.
Wait, who? I mean, yeah, he didn't throw it much, but I mean,
Anthony
9 for
Richardson.
19. Yeah, 9 for 19, 212, 2 touchdowns and a pick.
Right. So he got all the yards off of those 2 plays that you're talking about.
Yeah, and then he ran the ball for 56 and a TD. So if he could do that, protect himself, get a little bit more accurate, I'm gonna be looking forward to the Colts every Sunday. And
I mean they got the coach with enough patience to get it out of him. I think if you are the Colts, it sucks that you lost that game because, like I said, it's going to be an important one down the stretch. But I mean, hey, CJ Stroud is a unit, man, and he got 3 dogs with him. And today was, I don't know, it depends on who you would have asked. It could have been Stephon Diggs' day. He's the one with the 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins was the one with all the yards, and
alpha.
The alpha, and then Tank Dell did his thing too. I wish I would have pulled it up, but the target share and the route running is everything we could ask for. They had everyone had over a 20% target share, and I'm pretty sure I want to say the lowest route running percentage was either it was 84 or 94. But long story short, they always are on the field, and they're always getting target. Those are the 3 guys that the ball is going through.
Hey. It's ironic too how the owner for the Panthers or whatever called Bryce Young a point guard when that's really CJ Stroud. He was doing this with Noah Brown and whoever else. You add in Stephon Diggs. It's a scary ass offense. My only slight reservation: Joe Mixon had 30 carries. He has his injury histories. He did his thing. 160, nearly 160 yards, touchdown. 5-yard average, feed the hot hand, but do you think he can handle that workload?
That's one of those things where you got to. That's where it's like you have to remember it's week 1, and it's like, okay, we know we're gonna get a fresh Joe Mixon week 1, but are we getting that in 7 weeks? Are we getting that in 8 weeks? And for you Joe Mixon owners, keep that in mind. Watch him closely, even if you got to rewatch the game to see how he's doing. If he's
asking a Joe Mixon owner to rewatch a game for Joe Mixon is nuts.
I mean, hey, are you trying to win? If you're trying to win,
how high did you draft Joe Mixon to be watching?
I didn't draft Joe Mixon at all, but I mean,
I'm not you. Carries. I'm saying his ADP.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was like third, fourth round. But bro, come on, man, this dude. I mean, 160 yards with a tutty. He's the lead back with this. I mean, you don't want this to end. You don't want this to end.
If I'm a Joe Mixon owner,
might drop.
If I'm a Joe Mixon owner, I'm calling whoever has Damian Pierce, or if he's on your waivers, I'm scooping him. I'm trying to get that handcuff because you see
get in front of this thing.
Yeah, get in front of it because them 30 carries, and you feel good about that. Like, yeah, I nabbed.
Want me to week? You know what I mean? It won them the week. They're banging on their chest. They're happy. They won them the week.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a firework game. We said it was going to be a firework game. This was one of the games that we both were looking forward to watching. These are one of the quarterbacks. These are both of the 2 quarterbacks that we're going to look forward to watching for the next 5 to 6 years. I mean, it's good to see him play, and it's nice to see AR healthy. And this is just going to be an awesome matchup for years to come, man. That's really all I got to say about this one right here.
Nah, for real. This division is looking spicy. But let's move on to Seahawks Broncos, which I just realized a lot of books had it at 6.5. So I thought that was an easy dub. I got it at 6, so that's a push. But the Seahawks pretty much dominated this game. How do you feel about how Geno Smith did and Bo Nix's first performance here?
So Geno Smith, hats off. He did his thing. He pulled it out for his team. It looked a little ugly there for a little bit, but he did what he had to do. Obviously, we love him. West Virginia legend, Geno Smith. But when it comes to the Broncos, man, I gotta be honest. I thought I was going to have to eat crow when it came to Bo Nix because I don't believe in him. I didn't believe in him. I thought he was the least talented potential first round pick of this year's draft. Not saying that he didn't deserve to go in the first round, not saying he wouldn't go in the first round. I just believe that he had the least amount of talent out of all of those guys. In the preseason, he was kind of proving me wrong for whatever it's worth. But then yesterday, every single time I'm looking at his game, he's just throwing the ball to the defense. I mean, he's throwing the ball right to the defense. Did they catch it or not? It's up to them. But I mean, I'm like, yo, he doesn't throw it to any of his guys. And then when he does throw it, he's throwing it to the back. I mean, if you can for me real quick, look up McLaughlin's stats. I want to say at one point he had like 5 receptions for 1 yard or something crazy like that. And it's just kind
of 5 receptions for 1 yard.
What are we?
Yeah, hopefully Sean Payton figures it out. If you're a Broncos fan,
what if this is a Sean Payton thing? We're going to give everybody a break here.
Because part of the reason why I like the Seahawks in this spot so much was Mike McDonald, who's a defensive head coach, and who they have in that backfield. Shout out to I just forget his name, Julian Love. Hey man, the Giants, we know how to draft safeties. Is what it looks like. Jabril Peppers, Love, Xavier McKinney. That's why.
Did y'all draft intro rule? Y'all didn't draft intro rule.
I don't think we did. We just ended up with him, I think. Wait, we might have. Now I want to look that up.
Nah, I think Arizona drafted him. He ended up with Arizona.
But point being, Julian Love, that nice pick. He had 10 total tackles. Shout out to him. I'm always going to root for a former Giant like Xavier McKinney on the Packers, who caught a pick as well. But, I think the Seahawks are going to be dangerous. I think, we saw a healthy dose of Tyler Lockett. Zach Charbonnet had some burn too on the ground, and then he had a touchdown through the air. That it's a very potent offense. Kenneth Walker, 20 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown. You drafted him. That's what you want to see every week. And, don't sleep on the Seahawks in that division, man. I wouldn't be surprised, depending on how the Niners finish this game up. They're up 6 right now, how that division ends up. And I think they're going to at least have 2 playoff teams coming out of that division. So
no doubt. Even if it's not Seattle, it'll be it'll be Rams, it'll be the Cardinals. They'll be battling for a wild card spot. Rams, Cardinals, and Seattle. They'll be it's going to be a fight all the way to the end.
And what needs to be talked about more is it's not the AFC just dominate. There's a lot of good NFC teams now that you have to worry about, and they're just
good at football.
NFC is about to start their reign. I feel like, but let's move on to Raiders Chargers. Chargers 22-10. Had the Chargers taking this one just based off the quarterback and Jim Harbaugh, and he did what we
Sauce got hurt.
Huh?
It looks like Sauce looks like he might have separated his shoulder. He's still out. He's still on the side. Yeah, he's still on the sideline, but just something to keep an eye out for. And I'm sorry for you Jets fans because I know. Hey, I lost my guy last year, and I was hurt.
Always gotta make it about your boys, man. It's happening right now. With the Chargers, J.K. Dobbins, we obviously know that Harbaugh wants to run the ball, play good defense. That's why they kept Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, and they talked about it before the game. How
Joe Alt played well. Joe
huh?
Alt played well. Joe Alt, he played well against Max Crosby. He played
And
well. We got it.
that's why even though they let go Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Malik Neighbors was there to take, they went with the tackle. That's why the Giants have Malik Neighbors today, and they opted to get Lad McConkey, who did his thing. I mean, he led the team in receptions, yards, and he had a touchdown. Quentin Johnson didn't do too bad, and I think they're going to be good, man. I think they're going to be fine just because Justin Herbert isn't asked for once to play hero ball and put it on his back. Now he could kind of, whenever we need him, we could unleash the true potential of Herbert, but that's not how we're running the offense. And I think, we're going to get efficient games like this, but I don't really expect much from the Raiders this year. Gardner Minshew, 25 for 33, 257, touchdown and a pick. Zamir White carried the load there, but Alexander Madison got involved in the passing game. So it should be not a split backfield, but expect Madison to be like, more of that third down back and Zamir White to lead that backfield. But besides that, Jacoby Myers, one of the most underrated receivers in the league, he did his thing. Brock Bowers, 6 for 58. Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. It's just about, what can the Raiders do to? They need a quarterback. I did my tier list. If you want to go look back at that before the season, my preseason tier list, I had the Giant. There's 2 teams in my need a quarterback part of the tier list. There was, and that's the second worst part of my tier list. It was lost cause, and then there was need a quarterback, and I only had 2 teams: the Raiders and the Giants. And I'm not saying Gardner Minshew's trash, but that's not your future. That's not your franchise quarterback. So
they would have. I hate to have to bring it up or whatever, but they were one of the people that 100% would have paid $65 million for Dak Prescott. I hate to have to bring that whole subject up.
I feel like the Dak Prescott combo is like, if people are still hating on Dak, it's a personal issue.
Right. We're not even dealing with that. Yeah, we're not even addressing.
Fine, God, nigga. Yeah. But yeah, besides that, I'm interested to see how the Chargers do against.
Well, talk about Let them know about J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. Plus, I had him on my bench because I wasn't sure who was going to get most of the carries. Gus Edwards actually had more carries, but J.K. Dobbins averaged 13 and a half, 10 rushes for 135 and a TD. Man, I'm glad I wanted a piece of that backfield.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
That's Ohio State.
Hey, and you got to remember, Greg Roman's over there is OC. So, a lot of familiarity there. And, maybe next week is Gus Edwards, but he had more carries and he averaged 2.4. So I expect to see more carries for Dobbins. Gus Edwards still in the mix, but shout out to J.K. Dobbins. Hopefully he can stay healthy over here. And he's definitely going to be in my lineup next week. That's all I know.
Yeah. Hey, don't blame you. Don't knock you. Wish I would have been able to get him. When people were doing the J.K. Dobbins gamble, I was doing the Rico Dowdle gamble. It is what it is sometimes,
Yeah. But speaking of Rico Dowdle, you want to take this one off?
Yeah. So we're gonna start with the Dallas Cowboys. Pulled out a tough one away as 2.5-point underdogs against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland.
I told you I had y'all. I told you I thought I had it as the Browns being dogs in Cleveland. That's the line I guessed, but
and this is a respectable football team. The Cowboys are gonna, they're always gonna have those people that are the homers that picking on no matter what, and you're always gonna have the people that hate them no matter what. But this one right here, I think it goes to show what kind of football team they actually really are, though. This is a game that I would pick them to lose. Like I was like, look, man, they're going outside and they're playing away against one of the best defenses in the NFL. And
they didn't look like that. They didn't look like they looked like a bottom defense.
Right. We we worked them. I mean, we worked them on offense. We took care of what we needed to take
Shout
care
out to
of.
Mike McCarthy. He called a great game when they needed it. Obviously, y'all took the pedal off the gas
In the
and
second half, but
yeah.
but we took care of this in the first half. I mean, on defense, it was all boxed up. Going into this game, people would still try to tell you that Deshaun Watson is better than Dak Prescott, or he's as good as Dak Prescott. And they got a lot of weapons. They got Amari Cooper over there who's going up against a rookie cornerback. We got
And then you have Myles Garrett going against a rookie tackle,
rookie left tackle. We got a rookie starting at center. We had a lot of things that,
but y'all, that's
disadvantage.
that's what y'all are great at, is drafting those linemen. Deshaun Watson, I know his dad passed a couple of days before this game and whatnot, but it seems like the Browns made a monumental mistake with that contract. I think it's super, super ironic that the Cowboys, they stole the newsreel for that morning with the Dak Prescott contract.
Did they though? Because Tyreek getting arrested might have stole that from them.
Oh yeah. That was big, but still, that was the attempt. I think that was Jerry.
I think they wanted to take
last week.
Yeah,
we just signed CD Lamb last week. We're extended, and then we're going to show what a guaranteed $230 million or however much Jack got. $231. That $1 million, then go to taxes along with some more mills, but in Texas, not as much. But hey, Deshaun Watson is looking like a bottom 10 quarterback, flat out. What they paid for and what they saw back in Houston, BC, which I call BC before COVID, a few years. BC is not the quarterback they have, and then it's like poetic justice. It's like you have a high character guy in Dak, and then you have a guy with the most character concerns ever. You pay the guy that hasn't played one snap for your team all this money. He's not performing. He's, and you got to think the lawsuits and whatnot gets to his mental. That's all anyone talks about whenever he comes up, even when his dad died. The Twitter trolls were trolling still. I'm not saying I back that, but hey, we have new news here. We have another lawsuit, and I actually read the civil case for this one, and it's absolutely disgusting. This guy's a freak. This guy shouldn't be playing in the league. This guy should be in jail. If you read the details to this lawsuit, more freak shit. Long story short, him and this girl were on a date, and he was getting angry. She was doing her makeup in the bathroom. Came back to him being butt naked, face down on the bed, asking her to massage his butt cheeks. And I'm not being hyperbolic. You could go read the details. And then he basically did, one of the most vile crimes that you could do shortly after that. So this guy, don't like him. Don't like that he got rewarded with that contract. He's not playing up to that contract. He's not. How do you look up to him as a leader in the face of a franchise? I don't know. And ironically, not only did Dallas do that, where they showed this is the type of character and the type of player you should be paying this money. The guy Baker that y'all abandoned, who got y'all first playoff win in however many years, went crazy against the Commanders. Went crazy. He looks levels above Deshaun. Levels above, and that's the decision y'all made because that's bad ownership for you. That's what happens when
the idea of winning is priceless. It's priceless. And I mean, I hate that we got to explain it like this, but it's like, yo, you can't sit here and tell me that the idea that, we can win finally isn't priceless. Look at what you gave the money to. And you want to know why? You want to know why they aren't bashing Dak Prescott this week about the money, about the new contract? It's because they would look so silly if they did it. Because if you look at the highest paid guaranteed contracts in the NFL, it says Dak Prescott, number one, $231 million. And the second person under there is Deshaun Watson at $230 million. And they don't want to be the fucking assholes to show that. Because then you're really telling people, yeah, we said that Dak Prescott didn't deserve this money. Da 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 da. But the guy sitting right under him, we don't never say a word about the money he got.
Look at this. Deshaun Watson sued for sexual assault. Browns quarterback named a disturbing new lawsuit. And I promise you, this is disturbing. The rest of the cases sound similar to this one, except this one isn't in a massage parlor this time. This is in this lady's apartment. So I want this guy out the league. I don't like watching him play because he's not good anymore, and he's not a good human.
Yeah, and we aren't the guys that just want to bash you because we're trying to cape for the Me Too movement or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, bro, if 64 people have a lawsuit and you cut that in half, that's still 32 people that's accusing you of something. If 32 people are accusing you of something and you cut that in half, that's still 16 people that are accusing you. That's still 16. That's a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's one thing if it was like 8.
Man, look at this shit, 4. Man. Hey, she declined an invitation. Previously, declined an invitation to a Houston Galleria event, but she claimed she invited Watson to have dinner at her apartment, and that's where this went down. If you want to read the rest of the case, it is disturbing. So if you're not into that, there's some of it right here, man. We can move on from this dude, but pretty much Dallas came in, took care of business. Great play calling by Mike McCarthy. The Browns.
Defense, shout out to the defense.
They did shout out to the defense. Shout out to the special teams too. Yep, shout out to the special teams. Shout out to Turpin.
Overshown. If you're a Cowboys fan or you love defense, DeMario Overshown. Keep an eye out for that name. I think that he might be one of the best defensive pieces in the NFL right now. Like, I mean, at linebacker, linebacker was a problem. We needed him when we played Green Bay. We didn't have him. He was on an ACL, but this is his first year back. He's healthy, and he's as explosive as Micah is. I mean, this guy is going to be a special football player. Just keep an eye out on for him. But we can move on. Victory Monday, baby. Yeah. Shout out to Victory Monday and those who celebrate it. Go Cowboys.
And shout out to the Browns to having given out the worst contract in pro sports history, not just NFL. This is the worst contract in any professional United States of America sport. Shout out to the Browns. Enjoy property again. Rooting for Baker. Next up, ironically, we have the Commanders against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay went in there and did their thing. Me and Austin both said that they should get smacked. Put respect on the Bucs. They just went and won a road playoff game against the Eagles. So what else you got on this game?
I mean, it's everything we've always said about both the teams, honestly. I mean, we're like, yo, y'all not putting respect on these two Super Bowl winning wide receivers. Y'all not putting respect on the Buccaneers.
One of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. Honestly, both of them are very underrated, but Mike Evans on track to once again have another 1,000-yard season.
Double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, so 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chris Godwin, PPR king, 8 receptions for 83 and a touchdown. Rachaad White was doing his thing, not on the ground, but he did have 6 catches for 75 yards. That's why Rachaad White, I wanted a piece of that on one of my teams. I couldn't get to him, but hey, right. The Bucs are looking promising in the division that's up for grabs once again. Maybe they can win the division again.
Well, if we had to place a bet today, we're smacking the Buccaneers. I mean, we're smacking them, right?
289, 4 touchdowns. Shout out to Baker. And like I said in the previous pod, Baker he has a forever chip on his shoulder. No matter what he does, think about it. The Browns left him for dead. He went to the Panthers. The Rams, and where he didn't start, they gave Sam Darnold a nod. He went to the Rams, I think, after, and then
that's where he got his mind right. That's where he got it together.
Yeah. Well, it's a good ownership over the LA, over Cleveland and Carolina, so makes sense. and he had that crazy last minute drive in that game, showed his stuff. The Bucs gave him a chance, and he took it and ran with it. So shout out to Baker. I've always been a fan of his. I wasn't that year with Odell because I'm an Odell guy and I wanted Odell back, and Odell's dad got in the mix and blase, all that stuff. But all that stuff is behind him.
Hey, but look, when Buddy got your pops showing low lights through YouTube, iPhone recording, it might be on you though. Like that's my only thing. You got.
Yeah. No. There was something that. I have a theory that Odell might have been doing some Drake stuff, effing some bees that weren't his.
It was
something was happening. Something was happening in that locker room, bro. But
hey. Look, let's get to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels again. Congratulations to your fantasy team for getting the 2 touchdowns. Had like 80 yards rushing on the ground. Commanders are a horrible organization. They're a horrible team. They're so bad at this point. Why do you even want this guy? Like this is the difference between organizations. They're so desperate and they're so hopeful. They got this guy out here killing himself. They're getting smacked, and they got him out here running for touchdowns. They don't care about your health. If anybody got RG3's number, please give it to Jaden Daniels. And they need to talk. They need to be close. Because this ain't the place for him. They don't care about you at all, bro. You might be the head honcho and you might be the one that runs the show because you're the quarterback. But if no team cares about they've never had a franchise quarterback. They don't know what one looks like. They'll be quick to tell me how bad Dak Prescott is and how he's not him. But it's funny. How would you know who him is? You've never had one. You've never had a quarterback.
Remember last season, Sam Howell was
good at
leading. He was at one point, the leading yards.
The most touchdowns, leading yards, but he also led the NFL in interceptions. But we don't care about interceptions as long as certain people aren't leading the league in interceptions. It's okay, it's cool. But yeah, nonetheless, these boys got smacked up. It was Smack City, just like we said it was. And if you're the Commanders, I get it. You got to be hopeful, and you want to hope that. My team is good, but let's be honest. Let's be true. This is matter of facts. This ain't, man, we hope it's well. So, you know what I mean? Y'all suck. And y'all going to always suck probably because y'all don't know how to win. You don't know how to win at anything. Y'all suck.
Yo, I'm glad they're in our division is all I got to say. Because they got their quarterback, and if we have similar records, if we get our quarterback, it takes some pressure off us. And shout out to that franchise. I love y'all.
Shout out to y'all.
Y'all probably going to give us a dub that revitalizes us next week since DJ does own y'all. He does own y'all, so we'll see how that goes. And Jaden Daniels, 88 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, no passing, but he was efficient through the air, 184. But like you said, it's Washington, so you gotta temper your expectations. Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson Jr. combo. Brian Robinson actually caught more balls than I thought he would. No, did he? And
solid fantasy play. We gotta give respect was due. And Brian Robinson seems like he's a solid fantasy football asset for sure.
Yeah. And shout out to him. Obviously he started his career getting shot in the leg, and he came out to many men. Where's that for me? But I'm a fan of Brian Robinson overcoming that. Luke McCaffrey got a little bit active, 3 catches, 18 yards. That's Christian McCaffrey's brother, who's a rookie. But we'll see what more Jaden Daniels has to offer. He seems promising. He's a bright spot of the team, but like we said, man, and honestly, I should have smacked the hell out of that bet, and I just need to stick to my guns because that one seemed obvious.
Right. When you talk about it out loud, it was just like there's no way they're about to beat these guys.
That's why I like doing this. That's why I like doing this. We get my mind right.
Right.
All right.
So go ahead. You got it. You got the last one.
We'll wrap up with Rams Lions. great Sunday night football game. Keep the Sunday night matchups looking like this. Rams Lions rematch from the playoffs, and the Lions took the dub again. Very close. Unfortunately, Puka got hurt before the second half, and yeah, this was a fun game to watch. Thoughts?
I mean, thoughts are Cooper Cup is healthy, and him like yo, these cats know each other. I watched the pod. I think I might have suggested it to you, where Sean McVay was being interviewed on the Athletic, and just to hear him talk, man, and just to hear him talk about Cooper Cup and just the relationship that they had, the relationship he had with Aaron Donald, the relationship he has with the core of his football team, him as a coach, as an individual, being one of the youngest coaches in NFL history, one of the youngest coaches in NFL history to ever win a Super Bowl. He's just a really respectable man as an individual. And for some guys, they would say he's a really respectable young man because he's not even 40 yet. And just they lost this game, but to see Cooper Cup go out there getting crazy targets. I mean, you know what I mean?
He's gonna lose me one of my leagues this week because I went up against him. But it was nice to see, even though I'm a Puka owner. It was nice to see him
back doing it.
Yeah, it's nice to see him back. 14 catches, 110 touchdown. That's vintage Cooper. So the talks about him being back, he seems to really be back. Hopefully Puka's injury isn't, it seems like it was a lingering injury from preseason.
Well, he's week to week now, so he's out for the next 4. Well, he's on the pup. He's out for the next 4.
He's on the pup, but
pick up Demarcus Robinson if you were a Puka owner. Just trust me, pick him up. Everything's
What about Tyler Johnson? He actually 5 catches, 79 yards.
Okay, yeah, or Tyler Johnson.
Because in a couple leagues, Demarcus Robinson isn't there, but we'll do a waiver wire show where we kind of go through that. But yeah, shout out to Cooper Cup. Kyron Williams did his thing. He runs hard. He, like I said, Sean McVay with his run schematics, fire, and then on the other side of the ball, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, they did their thing. Obviously, David Montgomery's more of a pure runner. He had 17 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. And Jahmyr Gibbs was featured in receiving game, but he had 11 carries, 40, and a touchdown. They both had a touchdown on the ground. So if you have either of those guys, they were highly drafted relatively early. Gibbs obviously earlier than Montgomery, but I was trying to steal Montgomery in one of those later rounds for this reason, because he's going to get the goal line work. And the surprise of the game, at least from the Lions taking that dub, was Jameson Williams. We're hearing J-Mo, he's looking like his Alabama self. He's looking like his Alabama self. He was stealing, if you got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the first round, which I'm a big fan of Sun God, but he was on it's kind of weird. So he was on my no draft list in the first round. And the reason for that was because they have so many weapons. They have one of the best O-lines in the league that anybody can kind of get active.
Here's the thing, though. He never had a game under 80 yards at home all last year. So this is such an anomaly. Like week 1.
I'm not saying you're going to regret that pick. I'm just saying for me, I think they have too many weapons for me to draft him in the first. If I could somehow get him in the second, I'm all for it. Shit, if I'd be like, damn, can I trade into the second round if he fell there? But he didn't fall there, and I just wasn't drafting him in the first round because I just felt like the team is so talented, they could win in so many different ways. And don't panic on Amon-Ra. It's just
or Sam Laporta,
or Sam Laporta. But if you happen to have Jameson Williams, you're happy. You're seeing the true potential in him. And
or this could be your Sammy Watkins game.
What about Sammy?
All right, so Sammy Watkins used to do this thing where he would go crazy in the first game of the season, and we would never hear from him ever again. This was in like the late 2010s. But Sammy Watkins, y'all can look it up. Sammy Watkins used to go nuts first game and then give you nothing for the rest of the year. But I don't think that's going to be Jameson Williams. Also, when did Deebo Samuel change to Uno? He used to be 19. He rocking the Uno now.
Yeah, did somebody take 19 from him? I have no idea, but he's doing his thing right now. We need to get. I'm trying to watch this game second half now. They fighting. They fighting.
Right. We got
to
wrap this up.
We'll wrap this up. Anything else on the lines? Rams a good game. It's another. It's reminiscent of Chiefs, Ravens.
2 playoff teams.
Yeah,
right. 2 really good
Packers,
teams.
Eagles.
Right.
Either way, it was going to be a close, good game. And if you're on the losing end of that, you can't feel too bad because it's a stronger opponent on your schedule, and it was a toss-up. You know,
and I mean the home team won.
It obviously went into overtime. So the definition of a toss-up, and like as Austin said, the home team won, and that's this 3-hour time zone difference. So. That's how the way the cookie crumbles. Hey, the Rams, y'all won the Super Bowl from the trade. It's so poetic. I fucking love this league.
And I can't beat
Matt Stafford drafted 1 overall. Goff drafted 1 overall, and they get traded for each other. The Rams win the Super Bowl, but Jared Goff just won the last 2 matchups. And, I'm hoping for big things for both of these teams. I want as many good teams in the league as possible because I'm a fan of the league at the end of the day.
Facts. Big facts.
So, yep, that's it for us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Matter of fact. And, let's
enjoy your victories. If you have them, enjoy them.
Man. Hey, Quinn and yours. Hey.
Call me.